In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to make these delicious aloo parathas. So lots of you have been asking me for this recipe for quite a while now, and so I'm going to talk you through each single step. So to start off with, you want to peel some potatoes and then wash them. And then once you've washed them, you want to cut the potatoes up into small chunks. So I've cut the potato in half and then cut them through like this again. And the only reason for cutting them up into small chunks is just so that they cook faster. So add the potatoes to a large pot of boiling water and boil them until they're nice and soft. And then once they're boiled, you want to drain them through a sieve or a colander. And then after you've done that, you want to leave the potatoes in the colander for around 4 to 5 minutes just to let the excess moisture evaporate so that you don't have waterlogged potatoes. Next, I've transferred the potatoes to a large bowl and then I'm just gently mashing them. Now, you don't want to make the mash into a puree mash, you just want to gently mash them so you've still got slightly chunky potato left in there. Next, I'm just going to chop some coriander and some spring onion, and then we're going to add everything to the mashed potato. So first of all, we're going to be adding coriander, spring onions, cumin seeds, chaat masala, coriander powder, cumin powder, chilli powder, and lastly some salt. Then you want to mix everything together so that everything is well combined. Now with the salt you can add more or less, that's entirely up to you, and you can also add chopped green chilies if you like a bit more heat. Now the key to the filling is that you need to make this a few hours in advance or even a day before, because the filling needs to be nice and cool. If you've got a hot filling, your paratha are going to split and break and it's just not going to work, so you need to make sure that the filling is cool. Now the next step to the paratha is to make the dough. So to start off with, I've got a bowl of chakki atta, also chapatti flour, but I prefer using chakki atta. So I've just added around 200 millilitres of water, which I'm just mixing up like this, swirling it around to start bringing all the flour and the water together. Then you want to start adding the water slowly. You don't want to add all the water all together, because what could end up happening is you add too much water and then you've got a really sticky dough and not the right texture. So the key is to slowly add in the water. Now, if you haven't got chakki atta and you're using normal chapatti flour, then what I recommend is that you use half chapatti flour and you use half plain flour, and that will give you nice crispy paratha. So here you can see the dough has started to come together. I've added water slowly, still adding some more water, and you can see it's just splashes. It's not a whole, pouring in of water. It's just splashes of water until everything comes together and you've got the right texture. So once you've done that, you want to leave the dough aside for around 30 minutes covered up, and then we're going to come back to this after half an hour and then knead it. So half an hour's gone by now, so I've just made my hands slightly damp with some water, and then I'm just kneading it until it's nice and soft. So you can see it's firm, it's not too soft or sticky, it's just the right texture. Next, we're going to start making the paratha. So to start off with, you need to roll out 2 small golf-sized balls. So not too big and not too small. And you want to make sure they're nice and smooth balls. Then you want to coat the dough balls in some flour and then roll them out like this. Now you don't want to roll them out into a full chapatti size, just a small circular disc. And you want to do that with both of them. So the next part is adding the filling. So you want to add around 1 to 2 tablespoons of the filling, making sure that you leave a space around the edges. Then you want to take the other disc that you've rolled out and you want to place it on top. Then using your fingers, just gently press the edges together so that both discs stick together. And then using your hand, slowly and gently flatten it out so that you've got all of the air bubbles out. Now coat it in some flour, and then using your rolling pin, you want to gently roll the paratha out. And also you don't want to apply too much pressure, but if you've made sure you've left space around the edges, your filling shouldn't come out, and if your filling is cool, your paratha shouldn't split. Then once you've done that, you want to make sure you've got a preheated tawa, flat pan or a frying pan, and then you want to take the paratha in between your hands and you want to kind of make a clapping action like this. And the reason for doing that is just so that the paratha thins out slightly more. Then place the paratha onto the tawa, and once you start seeing the colour changing, you want to add around a tablespoon of ghee or oil, it's up to you. And then flip the paratha over and then cook it on that side. And then once you've fried it on that side for around a minute on a medium heat, add some ghee on this side and let it cook. And then you want to flip it over again and cook the other side until both sides are nice and crispy. So I cooked this on a sort of a medium heat, around 2 to 3 minutes in total, and you can see that the paratha is nice and crispy on both sides. And that's it, and that's how I make my aloo paratha. I tend to serve mine with some chutney and a good cup of desi tea. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and lots of you will be making paratha.